to all the comic fans, Marvel geeks, and all the nerds in between. Today we're going to break down the finale of What If, titled What If, What If? That was a very hard thing to say. And when I say we, I mean myself, Megan Nicole from Vigilante Vibes Podcast, and LJ and Wen from Bleeding Rainbow Comics.
Hello, wonderful people.
So we have finally made it to the end of the road, and I can't wait to get into this with you. We are at the finale. We have reviewed every single episode of episode 3. What did you guys think?
I actually really liked it. I'm still kind of processing some of the choices that they made. And I think that it was a good end to the series. I will say that much. That much I have processed. I don't know. I think where we ended up made sense when you think of the pitch that was given to Marvel for the 3 seasons of What If. Now, I was a little disappointed that they didn't bring back anybody from the season to tie it together. Like, there were no threads. It was just like, okay, these 2 episodes are relevant to the overarching story, but yeah, nothing else is.
Yeah, so what was the point of the Mech Avengers?
Because they wanted to.
Like, they had nothing to do with the ending. Like, Birdie was one constant, kind of, for 3 episodes. Cohorty, I was glad she was there. Storm, I feel like she was still somehow underutilized.
Yep.
And then there's Peggy.
Hey, you should like this episode. She got vaporized.
She did the she did the Steve Rogers Boy Scout thing where she's like, "I'll take one for the team," and it's like, Peggy, sit down.
But then she did take one for the team.
And we still kept talking about her. She's such a pick-me.
I would like to say the only thing that is important from this episode is that Birdie is now a cosmic being in the Marvel Universe.
And Cohorty and Storm.
Yeah, they're there too, but Birdie is also a cosmic being in the universe.
Well, halfway through the episode, I was like, this really isn't going anywhere. And then the Watcher's like, you have to take an oath. And I was like, but you just broke your oath. What does that mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It means you get superpowers.
It's that easy.
I mean, have you tried it? Did you say the oath?
Not yet.
Did anything happen?
I want to be in a safe space when I do.
My thing is, were they just catering to him by saying an oath, and he was just like, "All right, here's some powers."
I think so, because at the end he was just like, forget it. Just say I accept or I whatever.
It's like,
Because he took
we
it
gotta
so
do
seriously.
this.
He took it so seriously. Just say what? Just say accept. I will say, like, there was a few parts in the episode I was like, I can't take myself seriously right now. Like when they said, when he said, well, what's the fun in watching? And I was like, oh my God.
Did you disagree? What?
I didn't, but I was like, are you guys going to say it or am I going to say it? Got awkwardly
I think
quiet.
they said all you needed.
They did. So, getting into the episode, Uatu is shown in the past swearing his oath for the first time with his little tiny skinny arms, while the Eminent confirms his great trust in his star pupil. In the present, Uatu is forced to answer for his heresies, having broken his oath more than once to help heroes and save the multiverse. Peggy Carter represents Uatu's biggest transgression, hence her recent capture by the other Watchers who intend to execute both Peggy and Uatu. Infinity Ultron attacks the Watchers, holding them off while the heroes rescue Uatu and Peggy. The heroes try to reach Strange Supreme's new universe where the Watcher's power will be nullified, though it's too late after Infinity Ultron is killed. He fumbled. It happens. Destroying their ship, the Watchers prepare to kill Uatu and the heroes, only for Uatu to share the Watcher's oath with his allies to even the odds. With the heroes now imbued by the Watcher's own power, a major cosmic brawl results in the Eminence merging of the Incarnate and the Executioner. The Eminence begins erasing every variant of the heroes from every universe before Peggy sacrifices herself, saving her friends before transporting them all to Strange Supreme's universe. Their power nullified, Watu spares his fellow Watchers' lives while offering to teach them how to see rather than merely watch, to find the and preserve the true beauty of the multiverse, and the Eminence agrees. The heroes hold a funeral for Peggy in the observational plane before Uatu ends the MCU series with a final closing narration as a several exciting variants are shown. And there was a few good ones. I believe we got a Jubilee.
Hmm.
Shoot. And we got Storm as Black Panther. There was a lot of weird ones.
Yeah, we got a Mephisto Howard the Duck.
Yeah, that was wild.
I want to see like the art book for this show solely for that last part. I feel
Yeah.
like it was just artwork that was a pitched episode that didn't end up being made.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
interesting. I would love to see an art book on this.
Yeah, because there'd probably be like a ton more.
And speaking of that, I'd say this was the most visually stunning episode of the whole show. Every single scene was just a feast for the eyes.
Yeah.
I also think that because one thing that you said yesterday and that you were talking about was that everybody was just energy blasts. In this episode was like, oh yeah. And then so I thought that the fighting, there was a lot of diversity in
Yeah.
what they used. Like we just straight up got like spiky bats and stuff too. Like
I was getting kind of annoyed with the fighting because they weren't really doing anything. They were just kind of pushing each other back, like no one was
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
actual hurt. Like there's just like energy
I was
blast,
like,
push you
nobody's
10
gonna win
feet.
this. Like
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, man, someone's like push him off the face of the planet or something. My goodness gracious.
but the visuals were cool.
But they were so
And then they
cool.
destroyed the planet.
And apparently Cohort E can get really big.
Yeah, that was a watcher power.
She got like really big too. I was like, why did none
But
of you do this yet? If all of you got big and just
Right.
like
Well,
stepped on them.
Yeah.
she thought of it because the other watcher did it, and then she was like, "Oh, that's a thing we can do. All right, I'll do that now." So I did like that. Is that as the watchers used their powers,
They were learning.
they were learning what they were capable of doing now, which I was cool.
That's true. I kept getting confused as to which was which watcher, was which, because all
Which
you see
watcher was which, and where did the watchers go at the end? Because there was only that one left.
show off, but yeah, because there's just a bunch of bald heads going around, and it's like, wait, what if? Like, I feel like I would get mistaken, and then kind of
Yeah.
yeah. I'd hit the
They all
wrong
need
button.
like bald head tattoos. That way you can see them better. The only reason I was able to tell who was because they all have different like shawls behind them.
That should have been a thing. One of them should have blasted like a Watu and then been like, sorry, you're all just bald headed dudes.
He's like, my bad. Goodness gracious. So I guess now the Watchers are stuck on Strange Supreme's planet, and
Yeah.
that's it. I feel like I didn't get enough ending. Do you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of fighting. It was
Yes.
great, but I feel like I
You're right.
didn't
Birdie
get.
does need her own episode. I need to see the
yeah.
post log.
Also, am I the only one that like went through the credits and was like, is there a credit scene or anything? But no.
Yeah, I let this one play, but I mean, it was already announced that this was the last season, and
Yeah, I didn't figure we'd get an end credit thing.
given that they're all watchers now, I don't really see where you can go from there. Like it set up a new beginning. Like he's gonna show him what he's been seeing, not just watching.
Well, I thought maybe there was going to be something for something else, like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man or Marvel Zombies.
Yeah,
I mean, that is in like a few weeks, so that would make sense.
that would have been
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
God, that's in a few weeks.
God, I hope it doesn't suck.
I can't wait.
Listen, it has Nico Minoru in it. It can't suck. It has to be the best.
I see the trend happening if we review that show now. The Natasha theory goes and travels over to that.
Well, not necessarily, because they did not get Lyrica Okano back to voice Nico, and so I still love the character, but I'm kind of bitter that she's not being voiced by Lyrica. So
I'm just
We'll
confused by
see.
this whole show. Like, I don't. I think it feels like Marvel doesn't have too much hope in it, just
Yeah.
because they've barely spoken about it, and like they went as far as to making a comic, which I usually like, but it's like, but I've heard you talk about the comic more than the show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, my confusion is that seems to be a trend in Marvel right now is that they're investing in their own shows less, which is an odd publicity choice because when you think about it, like Agatha got no merch until after the show had already wrapped. They haven't even announced Marvel Legends for that show. What if they kind of threw in their last second? They were like, "Oh yeah, this is a thing. Merry Christmas." And then Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, we should have way more content for a few weeks out.
Yeah.
Like
just a trailer.
yeah, there's a trend of them not investing in themselves, which I think is a byproduct of people not investing in Marvel as heavily as they used to pre-Endgame. But like you can't not invest in yourself and expect the result to change. Like you still need to go all out. And I don't feel like they have really believed in what they're doing lately, which is absurd because the stuff that they've been putting out here lately has been great.
Yeah, I agree.
I just
Especially the animation with like X-Men 97, What If was pretty okay.
yeah.
Like Marvel had a good year.
I don't see the point in the neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon, which
No
is
one does.
sad since I'm like a Spider-Man fanatic.
Well,
Same.
I think there are two ways that that could be going about. One, because it was originally supposed to be Tom Holland's origin story,
Hmm.
and then somewhere down the line that got changed.
Yeah.
But now I think it's we're getting into a spot to where we can have separate spaces that aren't in the MCU. Like, cause think about it, like the Spider-Man His Amazing Friends cartoon. I don't even know if that's the actual title. I know that that's
Spidey
like
and
the
his amazing
old
friends.
'60s.
Spidey and
Yeah,
his amazing
that
friend. We put respect on
or
that show in
the
this house.
or like the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Like we
Also a
need
banger.
content that's not MCU that you can just jump into, and especially like for the younger ages. And so I think that now this is kind of their experiment of here's something not MCU that you can just enjoy that you don't have to worry about the rest of the MCU. Because that is my
Yeah.
biggest gripe about the MCU is that there are that's like all of the Marvel content.
Yeah.
And think about all of the old shows that used to be going on all at the same time that were different universes and all of that good stuff. Like you have such an established mainline universe, you're able to do some offhand cartoons. It's okay. Or if you want to make some shows that are not part of the MCU, I think that they could branch out into that too, but people would riot. Um,
But they should do it
now the
though. I mean, look at this
they should,
year.
and it's
Look how many
and
things we're
it's the
getting this
opposite of
year.
DC because DC is just now getting started. And the reason that their Elseworlds are really confusing is because they have like three different Batmans going on all at the same time, and
That's
they're just
stressful.
now attempting to start a new universe. And so Marvel, like everybody under the sun knows what is the prime MCU. I don't think that there's any confusions of that. And I think that now that they're going under different banners, like instead of Marvel Studios, we have Marvel Animation, Marvel Television. Um, I think they have built their brand enough to be able to do that successfully instead of just killing all of the side things. Like Runaways.
I think their problem is just there's a consistency issue as well. Like, remember Marvel Spotlight? Because I do.
Hmm.
Remember Marvel Special Presentations? Because I do. Both could have been
They
utilized
don't.
very well because Marvel Spotlight could have been used as a way to introduce characters. It could have been a way to
Yes.
have Spider-Man, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that's not connected to the MCU. They shouldn't
Hmm.
they should have things that aren't connected to the MCU because that's a lot. At some
Yeah.
point they're going to overlap in the wrong way. Like this year we're getting
Hmm.
so much Marvel content. It's bananas. I'm going to be a busy woman this year. So,
I will also be a busy woman this year.
we'll be busy women together. When you can join us too if you'd like. It's a thankless
Business
job.
women.
But
We're
it's
not
like
getting a theme
some
song.
of these should be disassociated with 616, the sacred timeline, all of that. So
Yeah.
I'm down for it. It's Marvel Universe. There's all these little tiny planets in between. It's fine. If the comics
Hmm.
can do it, you can do it.
Yeah,
I
we
mean, it
just.
could be something as simple as at the beginning of each show, just labeling which Earth it is. Like anything that's
True.
MCU, just Earth
Hmm.
616 in their establishing shot or
Yeah,
in the opening credit or something.
something, a new banner or something that they stick with.
Or Marvel alternate or Marvel cartoon. I don't know. I mean, I think Marvel animation they could have just kept. They could just keep that since '97. I'm assuming is not in the main MCU
It's not.
unless they retcon something. But for Spider-Man, I'm assuming that they're going to use the Marvel animation as well. But I think that they
Yeah.
were toying with what to call each thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think when Echo came out and it was Marvel Spotlight, they were like, "Oh, this is a special presentation type of thing." And then your audience went, "Oh, so if it's Spotlight, it's not important." And so they had to pivot.
Yeah.
So they couldn't use Spotlight anymore. I think that that's kind of where that is. But sometimes you have to let these things play out. Like Agatha, you let the show play out. It was an amazing show that not everybody believed in. Um, but like you have to build that brand like the MCU has done up until now. You know that you're starting from zero with each new iteration.
That's true.
So give us something amazing for Marvel Spotlight, and then we won't see it that way. Like
I
I
was.
liked Echo. It wasn't amazing, but I liked it.
It was good. I liked it a lot. It was almost a year since that show came out. Actually.
In
Um.
January. That's crazy.
I know. I watched it on my birthday, so that's exciting. Kind of. I gotta go back and watch that show, but we'll see what happens with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, since they changed the show name for like 3 times now, which that also makes me nervous because like I feel like you just don't have any confidence in it like your other shows because
Hmm.
you're right we haven't gotten anything. They just went through a bunch of convention. It was convention season. Did we get
Nothing.
a trailer or anything? Just screenshots or pictures of the trailer. It's like
No,
nothing.
that worries me. And typically, when you give out information at the last second, it's because you don't want review bombings to happen or you don't want the bad taste to be in people's mouths before it releases. Like when a review embargo doesn't lift until the day something is released, you know that there's probably a reason. Um, so I don't know. I think with What If overall, I enjoyed this season. I don't think it was the strongest season, but it had my favorite characters in it, so I appreciate it. Um,
And who are those
but
characters?
Yeah, I don't think
We
we
had no idea.
mentioned.
Who are you a fan of? I had no
pretty
idea.
much everybody but Natasha Leone. Um,
And this will be the one episode she listens to.
well, well, think about it. We got Agatha, we got Kingo, we got Kate Bishop, we got Shang Chi, we got
Yeah, we got all
Riri,
your
we got White
favorites.
Vision back, we got Natasha Leone, we got Cohorty and Peggy back, we got Storm as Thor. Like we got some good stuff.
True.
Like I don't feel like the payoff was as big because the thread wasn't throughout as
Yeah,
much as the other seasons, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I
it's
just expectation management should have been in there somewhere. Like, ooh, these last 2 episodes, you're gonna find out what happened to the Watcher, but everything else, like, it's just its own thing, guys.
yeah, it's almost like they just knew how they wanted to end the show. But they were like, "But we wrapped it up in 2 episodes. What do we do? Oh, let's just make some crap up for the rest."
It felt there was a few things about it that felt like um they're like I really just want to somehow involve Strange in this. Just like figure out what he can do
Yeah,
there. And like they're like, "Oh, you didn't make it to his universe." Okay, well just appear there. No one will question it.
yeah,
It's fine. And
yeah.
that's what they did.
Yes, that is what they did. There was a lot of the Kirby crackle that we mentioned last episode too. In this episode, though, that's what the name of it was. I figured
Is
it
that the
out.
name of the
Yeah, that
power?
style,
The art
the
style of
little black
Blasty.
bubbles. It's called the Kirby crackle.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. I learned
Jack
something
Kirby
today.
created it.
That is Oh, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Oh wow. You really brought a lot here, Wen. Goodness.
See, except when you say Kirby Crackle out of context, I assume that it's like Nintendo's Kirby just breaking apart at the seams.
I thought it was some kind of snack because, like, crackle. I think I'm just hungry, but that's okay. So we're
But
at
I
the
did
end
like the
of.
visuals this episode. I thought that this
Mhm.
episode had the strongest visuals of the season.
Agreed. It was easily the best one. It was. They really put all they had into this episode with the visuals.
Mhm.
So are you guys sad it's over?
I am. I actually really liked What If.
I'm sad it's over. I'm not sad that I get to sleep in tomorrow. Actually,
True.
crap. No, I don't. I have to work. Dang it.
Oh no.
So never mind. I would rather be covering What If than going to do a bunch of work.
What
But it's
about
fine.
you, Megan? Are you sad?
I think my life will be exactly the same. Because, like, if this was a stronger season, if I was, like, super hooked, I would be sad.
Yeah.
But it's like, there was strong episodes, but I feel like overall, it was like, that's the last of What If? The show
Yeah.
about infinite possibilities. And that's the ending? That's the season we're going with? So,
Mhm.
I honestly think that the episode should have been longer. I think that that would have helped. I think we would have been more invested and they would have been able to do more of a through line. Every episode to me felt a little bit rushed to where, okay, we have to get all of this in, this whole new.
I think what I'll miss the most is I actually like the art style of the show. And I think I'll miss that. I think Marvel Zombies is the same style, so I'll get it there, I guess. But
No, that's only like 4 episodes.
yeah.
Good luck.
yeah,
Only 4 episodes, which I don't even
Let's
care
say the
about
Wakanda show's
zombies.
also only 4 episodes, I'm pretty sure.
And it's like, are we gonna have to go a whole month watching one episode a week, or are you just gonna give it to us all at once? Like, what
yeah.
bullshit are you
What's
about to
the
put us
layout?
through?
I feel like it was something that got greenlit and they're like, okay, let's just put it out.
Mhm.
Like, that's very much Ironheart. They're like, okay, well, we made this. We should probably release it at some point.
Poor Dominic Thorne. It feels like her being in What If. They're like, look, I know your show is supposed to come out like a year ago, and then we said it would come out in a few months, and now it's in like 2 years. How about we give you an episode of What If? And she's like, oh,
Ooh.
okay, thanks.
I
I
mean,
have a
to be
show.
fair, she really did well in her
Oh,
episode.
she
Like, she
did.
went all for it.
She absolutely
Like, I
did.
would say, of the acting of this entire season, she probably did the best job.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Which you can tell because everybody else are very much live action actors.
I feel like that's Marvel lately though. Just like it's like they plan for too much than what they can handle or something, and like they just can't fit it all in.
Or they change their plan too often and everything is muddy because of it. And then actor strike happens, and then writer strike happens, and then like it's just not a great time.
Because you had COVID happen, so everything got screwed, and then they tried to play catch up, put way too much out at once, so the quality
Mhm.
went down, the quantity went up, and then they were trying to even out. I really do think Kevin Feige stopped being involved much,
Mhm.
so we saw him swoop back in, redo all of Daredevil. Ever since then, we've been getting great content. Ever since Feige
Yeah.
actually got involved, and then you had the writer's strike, and then it's just like now it's like voice actor strike for video games. So it's kind of screwing up a lot of things. But it like strikes should happen, 100%. If
Yeah,
Yeah.
something's not right, they should happen.
that's how they
But
get their
it's not
contracts.
doing, yeah, but it's not doing Marvel any favors. So I think
Mhm.
they're still, every time they find their footing, something happens.
Something happens.
What world-ending event will happen next time? Because if anything keeps me from seeing Fantastic Four on its release date, I will riot. And that's why I'm so excited, because Kevin Feige has voiced how excited and involved he is in Fantastic Four, and you can tell it's a clear passion project for him. And so Fantastic Four is like one of my all-time favorites, and so for him to be that invested in it, I'm excited. So maybe I don't know, the test screenings for the new Captain America haven't gone well, but see. But maybe after that, we'll be back on track.
That was never confirmed though. That came from someone who is big on a website that runs on rage bait. So until I see like the lowest source I'll accept is like Brad Winderbaum. Just because that
I'll
man
say word
talks.
on the street was before Deadpool came out, Deadpool's test screenings were also met.
Yeah,
So who knows? Also, my tastes are way different than most of the fan base, so I don't really
Yeah,
care what
I
people
can't
say.
wait till Captain America.
I'm excited for it.
I am too. It's on
Ruth.
Valentine's Day. How cute.
I honestly think Fantastic Four should have been on Valentine's Day. That makes so much more sense.
No, they're giving us
But,
the best month they can with Superman and Fantastic Four in July.
mark my words, one of them's going to move. There's no way that they're going to have those two
I
movies that close
I
together.
disagree
Yeah, I don't think
wholeheartedly.
they'll
One, James Gunn is petty as a motherfucker. But before it was Thunderbolts that was in that month, but when it was announced it would be Superman, Feige switched Thunderbolts with
mm-hmm.
Fantastic Four. So he brought the big
Yeah.
guns. So they're playing chicken. And both of them
Yeah.
aren't
See,
going to quit.
I'm super excited for Superman, like beyond belief. Have the outfit and everything.
Yeah.
But if you make me pick between Superman and Fantastic Four, I'm picking Fantastic Four every
That's
single
okay.
time.
I'm picking Superman.
Like, I mean, I will go see them both, but I'm thinking as like a casual, if I'm going to pick one, because most people aren't going to go see two superhero movies in 1 month.
I'm just glad that Superman has a 2-week window to at least get box office before Fantastic Four does come out.
That third weekend drop is going to be awful.
I was hoping they come out at the same time because I want to see how hard it can go for a movie theater. Like, I want to see how much business they can bring in because I love the movie theater and I hate going when there's no one else in the theater with me. Like, we saw Sonic last night. Barely anyone was there, and it's like, man. That's our review for final What If episode, the finale of the show, the ending of the show. It's all done. We can all move on to the next thing, I guess. Thanks for hanging with us every single day to join us in our review. We had a blast. Thank you, too, for joining me. This was so much fun to do with you guys. I cannot think of anyone better to do this with.
And we're not done yet. We have tomorrow's live stream.
True. Yes.
That's true.
Make sure you're with us tomorrow.
Of the whole season.
Correct. Make sure you're with us tomorrow as we go live to discuss the last season of What If in its entirety and discuss with us what you thought of the finale and the whole season, really. So that'll be a good time.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what everybody's opinions is on the whole thing.
Me too.
I'll say, we know what you think about every episode, but you're the only person I've actually had a chance to talk to anybody about. So I would love to hear more opinions.
Same. I want to hear if we're alone.
And why did you think that Birdie was the best character of the whole series? Let us know in the comments below.
Get a load of this guy. So wherever you're watching or listening to this episode, be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our reviews or all the cool, exciting content in between. LJ, where can we find you?
You can primarily find us on YouTube and Facebook. Just give a search for Bleeding Rainbow Comics. Oh, he's done. He had his 15 minutes. But yeah, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook. We are there. We are also on everything else but the disgusting what is formerly Twitter. But yeah, just give us a search. Say hi. Watch a video. Bleeding Rainbow Comics.
And you can find me everywhere by searching Vigilante Vibes Podcast, or make it easy, you can check my website, vigilantevibes.com. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow, and have a marvelous day.